Time now for sports news on the news at 10 with Kayode Okikiolu.
Well, thanks, Gimba, and you're welcome to Sports News. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the Super Falcons after the team won the Africa Women's Cup of Nations for a record 9th time. President Buhari praised the coaching crew, the Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, the Supporters Club, and all football-loving Nigerians for the support given to the Super Falcons. The president said he never doubted the capacity of Nigerians to excel when given the right support. And Super Falcons coach, that's Thomas Dennerby, has described the final match between the Super Falcons and South Africa as the best performance from the players. Nigeria defeated South Africa 4-3 on penalties to lift the Women's Africa Cup of Nations title. Dennerby praised the players for improving on their passes, but he was unhappy with the long balls.
That probably were the best passing game we had so far in the tournament. Our defense was solid also today, and the fact is that we only let one goal in 5 games, and that was against South Africa in the first game. So, of course, that is a really stable ground to start with. And today we also have a so much better passing game, as I said. We find better solutions. We play sometimes long, still play too many long, my opinion. But it was so much better today. So we have chances, and I think that when we were like 60 minutes into the game, I have the feeling that we will score. I think we have the game under control, and they just have a few counter-attacks. So I think we were closer during the 90 minutes to win the game than South Africa today. So it was so much better this time than the first time we met them.
Well, let's now head over to the English Premier League, where Crystal Palace beat Burnley 2-0 to pile more pressure on the club's manager, while Brighton secured a priceless 2-1 away victory over Huddersfield Town. Goals from Jamie Vardy and James Maddison gave Leicester City a 2-0 victory over Watford at the King Power Stadium, while defending champions Manchester City beat Bournemouth 3-1 with goals from Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling and Ilkay Gundogan. Elsewhere, Manuel Pellegrini's West Ham thrashed Newcastle 3-0 at St James's Park, while Manchester United came from 2 goals down to force Southampton to a 2-2 draw at St Mary's Stadium. More football stories. Argentine club River Plate has rejected CONMEBOL's decision that the second leg of the postponed Copa Libertadores final against their neighbors and bitter rivals Boca Juniors be played in Madrid. The hugely anticipated match at River Plate's monumental stadium in Buenos Aires was called off after Boca's team bus was attacked as it approached the ground, injuring several players. In a statement made public, the club said it understands that the decision to play in Madrid adversely affects those who bought tickets and also upsets the idea of equal conditions by taking away the home advantage. However, River did not say what action they will take if the South American Football Confederation, CONMEBOL, stood by its decision to move the game to Real Madrid's Bernabeu Stadium on December the 9th. Well, that's sports news for tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Kayode Okikiolu.
The founder of the Oduor People's Congress, Dr. Frederick, has died at the age of 83. Dr. Fashion is said to have died in the early hours of today at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Ikeja, where he was admitted on Tuesday for treatment. A medical doctor, Fashion was born in Ondo Town, Ondo State in 1935, became popular following his founding of the OPC, a group described as a Yoruba nationalist organization working to protect the interests of the Yorubas in the country. The late Fashion is credited with the revival of the Unity Party of Nigeria, which was originally founded by the late Yoruba leader, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, in the 1970s. Among those that have paid tribute to the late octogenarian is President Muhammadu Buhari, who says that the late Fashion is NADECO leader fought against the military for democracy here in Nigeria. On his part, the All Progressives Congress national leader, Bola Tinubu, says that the pro-democracy activist was a committed Democrat, tested political player and Yoruba nationalist. The People's Democratic Party presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has also paid tribute to Dr. Fashaun, describing him as a man of conviction who fought for equity for the country. And former US President George H.W. Bush has died at the age of 94. He was the 41st US President between 1989 and 1993, after serving 2 terms as Vice President to Ronald Reagan. His term is defined by the end of the Cold War and the first Iraqi war against Saddam Hussein. While his health had been failing in recent years, he still managed to make public appearances. In April, he was admitted to hospital with a blood infection, but had since been discharged. He died 7 months after his wife, Barbara.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush.
The inauguration of George H.W. Bush as president in January 1989 was the culmination of a career built on privilege, a series of political promotions ending at the White House. The 41st President of the United States had previously served 8 years as Vice President to Ronald Reagan and was the first serving Vice President for more than 150 years to be elected to the highest office. His term in office was defined by his foreign policy at a time when communism was collapsing in Eastern Europe and the dissolution of the USSR left the US as the world's only superpower. His policies helped restore the credibility of the U.S. in the rest of the world and laid to rest the ghost of the intervention in Vietnam. He was accused of neglecting domestic affairs, and after reneging on a campaign promise not to increase taxes, he was defeated by Bill Clinton in the 1992 presidential election. Following his honorable discharge from the Navy in 1945, Bush married 18-year-old Barbara Pierce. Their first son, the future President George Walker Bush, was born a year later. U.S. presidents, past and present, are among many paying tribute to the former U.S. President George H.W. Bush. The U.S. flag has been lowered to half-mast on official buildings for 30 days. Funeral arrangements are yet to be announced, but a lying-in state in Washington is expected, followed by a burial at the Presidential Library in Texas, next to his late wife, Barbara.
And the main news again. The Super Falcons of Nigeria today repeated their dominance of football in Africa as they defeated the Bayana of South Africa to win the Africa Women's Cup of Nations title in Accra, Ghana for the 9th time. And that's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for watching. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night, friends. Good night.